few comments from yourself.
Your stuff too, by the way.
Yeah. Right, a noise sound. Mackay Mackay Regional Council.
Yep. Let's count to 3 again.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good to go.
Do you just want to start with the change of the decision in regards to the evacuation?
Yeah, well, the change is something that's come timely, and after our meeting with the state today, in particular rail meteorology, where we've now looked at the cyclone and where it's tracking, we believe it will go further north than what we previously thought. So what we've done is we've taken off the evacuation side to where we were, but we are reminding all people throughout our region that we still asked you to prepare to evacuate if required. Now, particularly in low-lying areas and right across our whole region, that could be particularly beachfront sides, but some of our lower areas. So it is prepare to evacuate, and just as long as everyone's ready, that if this cyclone, remember tropical cyclones regularly change their direction or have a mind of their own. So what we're saying, if this does change direction, we want people ready and prepared to evacuate as soon as possible.
How will you keep the public updated in regards to evacuations?
Oh, look, we're certainly through the media. Media people are doing a great job right throughout our region, whether it be during the night or others. There's areas that have been covered all the time. So we're happy to do it through the media there. If it is a real high emergency, I'm sure that the Premier will help us once again to either SMS or put their telephone message on your home phone.
So is there no longer a concern of the storm surge that you earlier had, or?
Oh, there's still a concern about a storm surge, but maybe not as high, because yesterday we were up to 4 metres or better. This stage we dropped down below 1, but that can alter depending on the direction that the cyclone comes and depending what wind increases. It is thought that the cyclone will increase in density as it draws closer to the coast, and I think, like most instances, it may even change direction slightly. So although we feel at the moment it's between Innisfail and Cairns, the crossing, at around about 1 a.m. on Thursday morning, that could change and could change quite openly.
Just back to evacuations, obviously nursing homes are quite difficult to evacuate. Have you got them on standby? What's the situation?
Look, we've spoken to a number of we've spoken to all the nursing homes, and some have taken precautions and already shifted. Those that haven't taken the shifting option, they certainly have a plan in place. It is the responsibility of each of those homes to have a plan, and they've already operated or started operating a number of those.
When we're saying people may need to evacuate if required, by if required we mean use your common sense and move, don't wait for a text, don't wait for a phone call, you should rely on your common sense?
Oh, look, a number of people will move because they feel in their own self that is the right way to go. But if we were to ask people to evacuate, the superintendent and I will certainly be relying on you people as media to get that message out, and we'll be doing that as a joint release as district and local disaster committees. So at the moment we're saying it's prepared, and as long as people are prepared, they can go at any time then.
What kind of impact would a 1 metre storm surge have compared to a 4 metre?
Oh, look, at this point in time it'll depend on rain conditions. If the river is in flood and we have a tide that's in, remembering we have around about a 5.7 metre tide over the next few days, so all that will come into the consideration. So that's why at this point in time, because we don't know exactly when this will cross the coast or where it will cross the coast, we're leaving that open. So it's something that we're certainly we look at every time there's a new report comes out, but between the superintendent and I, we'll certainly be asking the people what to do if that point arises.
Just in terms of the conditions, obviously Mackay is expected to experience the strong wind gusts. When would you expect that to happen, or what's the latest advice that Council's had in regards to that?
Yeah, look, at this point in time, we think tomorrow afternoon, late or tomorrow night. But look, it could, I believe it could start raining and some winds even later on tonight. But at this point in time, I believe tomorrow afternoon will be when we first start to see those conditions, sometime tomorrow, lunchtime onwards.
Is there any advice you give to workplaces at this point in terms of keeping their workers home, or?
Oh no, look, I think Mackay Regional Council will operate as normal tomorrow. We'll certainly be open for business, and I think most businesses will probably do the same. But if their workers have prepared their homes properly, their families properly, they don't need to have that much time. They can head out at any time. So I think it's important that we keep operating as normal, but as long as people have done their preparation, whether it be for cyclone or flood inundation or tidal surge.
At this stage, it looks like obviously it's tracking more towards Cairns now, but there's still cause for concern here, or?
Oh yeah, look, this is a big cyclone, and we shouldn't lose text on how big this really is, and so that's very easy. If you have a look, and I'm sure all of you have been on the web having a look, you see how big the swirls are. We're just outside those at the moment, and that's a very good place to be. But we need to be very conscious that as this gets closer to the coast, it can duck either way, and hopefully it's not south.
Where last night and this morning, people have been referring to the Brown Council map. Is there a new reference point, or it's just up to individual property owners?
Look, at this point in time, I'm saying anyone in beach areas or low-lying areas, because we don't need to put anxiety into people if we put colours in again. I think we need to be a bit open because of the region to where we are from the eye of the cyclone. We can leave that a bit flexible at this point in time.
If you do again require people to evacuate, will you go back to the brown zone? Are they the people in those zones that will be required to evacuate?
Oh, look, depending on the size of the surge that we're expecting, but at this point in time, who knows, and we're waiting to see what this cyclone does.
Any advice on the surge at this stage? Or?
No more than what I've said today.
Mr Mayor, what type of things have council staff been doing today to prepare for cyclone around Mackay?
Oh, look, we have a checklist that we go off, whether we're making sure all our vehicles are full of fuel, making sure that we don't have anything loose that's laying around. We're in the throes of removing our shades in our parks and over our pools. Look, it's general. We're no different to any other organisation or family in the district. We prepare the same way as what we ask them to prepare. So we've been out just doing our normal thing as in preparation.
I guess police-wise, obviously you're going to have a lot of calls. What's the advice for those people over the next sort of 48 hours?
I suppose it depends on what the query is, but I think the message the Mayor has given today is the message that we will all be running with. You know, people have been asked to be on standby, to be prepared for a serious weather event, and to be on standby to evacuate. While we're on that point, if there is a need to evacuate, whether it's a self-evacuation or whether it comes to a time that there's a mandatory evacuation, the Mayor and I will be the people who will let you know that that's going to happen. We've already had some reports today of people going door to door in Mackay, telling people that they have to evacuate their houses. They're not purporting to be anyone in particular, but they do represent with their address as possibly members of the council. They are definitely not members of the council. They are not authorised to be going around telling people that they must evacuate their houses. And we believe there's a sinister reason that this is happening. So we want to make it known that if there is a need to evacuate, the Mayor and or I will be the ones who will be coming out and telling through the media the people of Mackay that it's time for them to make a move. So just like people to be aware out there that if they do have people knocking at their front door telling them that they must evacuate, they are not an official word, and that they should be calling the police and letting us know what's going on.
Do you guys have any other concerns at this stage? Or?
Oh, look, not at this point in time, no. I'm quite comfortable. The local disaster management group here has done an excellent job in their preparations, and the way the cyclone has changed track, it's obviously eased the pressure on us in this area, but we must stay vigilant. As we all know, people have lived up in this area for any length of time. Cyclones can be very erratic, particularly as they move closer to the coast, and we are still in the warning zone in this area. And we should be prepared for the cyclone if it does change track, that it may cause increased danger to us here, and we need to be aware of that.
Sorry, which areas was that drawn on?